wanted to stop off here in Ashville on my way back from Logan to make a quick video. It's been a while since I did a video blog, and get a load of this site. I'm gonna open up my sunroof. Okay, check this out. What are those things called? What is that called? Do you know? Or is it for like feed, do you think? Feed? What else do you think might be in there? I think this is really cool because it's a stone driveway I'm on right now. Check it out. And there's like rail cars here for something. I'm assuming they have like bulk. Do you think it's dry bulk? I'm assuming in the stone parking lot. Believe it or not, I used to drive truck, and I used to love to go to places that were distant from the normal I would go to, especially like kind of Midwestern-y, even if it was on the East Coast somewhere. Kind of like little, what people would perceive as small hick towns. Is that what this is? I don't know. I hope it doesn't hurt anybody that I said that. But I like little towns like this. I don't know if I'd want to live in one, but I like to stop by them once in a while. And the reason that I'm here today is I just want to share a small video blog because it has been a while and I know I've been really stressed out, so I try today not to touch subject with some of the other subjects that I will talk about again in the future. I just want to share with you a venue that looks like the name has changed, so I don't know if there's new owners here or not, but it used to be, if I'm not mistaken, kind of like a restaurant and a place where people could drink, and I think it was all ages. And they had an upstairs. It was called Papa Joe's Pizza. Are you familiar with it? It's on what appears to be Crumley Street in Asheville. That's where I'm at now. And evidently, can you see it? It appears to be as though it is Jackie Ray's. This is a place that I came as a songwriter. I was hoping to network with other songwriters and other people who have interest in music. In my opinion, it was quite an endeavor, and I'm very grateful I did it then, and I may do it again in the future. But in the near future, I will be sharing with you insight of things that I've learned in my endeavors of attempting to network with other people in music. But for now, let's get a quick zoom of this, and then there's somewhere else I want to take you, okay? Okay, I am outside the car right now in a stone parking lot. You hear it? And it looks like it's by a feed mill or something. What do you think it is? Are you from this area? Are you familiar with that? And this is the establishment that at one time used to be called Papa Joe's Pizza, and is now Jackie's Ray. Ray of sunshine. And I'm just gonna give you a quick glance of what I can. I think it appears to be closed until like 4 p.m. Look at the windows. See that? And the number 20, that's the address. If anybody's interested. It was a pretty nice establishment that I went into back in 2010. This video is now being made in 2021. And look at the Christmas lights. I don't know if you can see them or not. Through the reflection of the window. Looks like they have a patio. Right now it looks like it's shielded with a tent. And that is the new name, evidently. So maybe you had visited this establishment prior, or maybe currently, and you could touch base with me and let me know what you thought of the service, food. Look at this sign. I like this sign. This is cute. Parking for pampered and polished. What do you think that's is that like a name of a business here, or are they talking about what? For those who know they should be pampered? Do they have to-the-door service and drivers? One thing that I think is really cool, and I thought when I was coming down Main Street, okay, back in 2010. Do you remember from my life story, I was going through a lot of different things, and at this time in my life, I had already written quite a few songs, and I spoke with a gentleman that was helping me out at the time. I had mentioned to him that I wanted to network with other songwriters. I got approval that it would be okay for me to come down here. It's over an hour-and-a-half drive to come to here from Dayton, Ohio. I forget whether or not somebody had invited me here and mentioned it to me, or if I looked it up online at like open mics, or at least they used to have an openmic.org or something like that, and it had a whole list of writer nights or open mics around the United States and abroad, I guess. I'm gonna walk up here a little bit. It's chilly. This is gonna be kind of a quick video, and I might go into my car, but you can see a little bit. You can see a little bit of the establishment and what it might have felt like for me, who is from a small town in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. It's called Lebanon, Pennsylvania. And I was familiar with like a small city and county, with a mountain, a lot of country and suburban. But this here, I've only seen like on TV, like places like this. See the old railroad track? I think they still use it. And look at this. See the road? Here's a little trackside bar and grill. So, it's Midwestern-y out here. And I thought that was really cool. I came from down where that big truck is. I came from this way and I turned in there. And I got to meet a few people, quite a few, that were very kind to me. I felt maybe a little awkward because I wasn't yet comfortable with what I would perceive more of a femme voice. I used to sing out and do entertainment, but I sang differently. And when I was coming to an open mic, it was after situations that occurred with police officers around the United States. It was after situations of during that time I was homeless. Even though I had somewhere to stay, I didn't know how to get my needs met. And so I was consumed and overwhelmed. I was over 450 miles away from everything I once knew, okay? My family, anybody that I once was acquainted with. It was not the same guitar that I was playing for a decade. It was a new guitar for me that Daddy had gotten me, and I still use to this day for my recordings. And I do like it a lot, but there was a whole, I know it was not yet set up, I don't think. So there was a whole lot of, not just uncomfortable with me being me, because I was working on that, I was uncomfortable, okay? A lot of unfamiliarities. I'm a little nervous because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Am I going to be homeless yet again? And it's one of those things when you meet new people, you don't want to kind of talk about that, but at the same token, where does one go in America when they want to get their needs met so they can talk about other things with the fine folks of the state that they're in? Can I have a home? Can I have my own food without asking somebody else and hitting their approval as to whether or not I can eat today? I would appreciate that, especially in a native land that has government. You think they would have something in alignment that you would be aware of? Do you think so? And that's the only thing I'm going to be saying right now is if they do not by this time, they better do something. Ta-da! That is cool. Railroad tracks. It's pretty wild. Look at all the tanks. You see them? What do you think they're used for? Do you know? And then look at this barn. You see? Isn't this pretty wild? It's something that, I don't know about for you, but this is not something I would see every day, but yet similar. I mean, I've obviously seen things in real life, not just on TV, but this here is very unique in my opinion. As far as to like an inner, I don't know what would you call this? Is this like an inner town? Like a Midwest town? I don't think it's a city. Might be. Anyway, that's pretty much it. We're gonna cross the street and I'll talk a little bit more about it. I'm kind of like watching myself to my left and to my right, 360. Hopefully it's a safe town. I would appreciate that while I visit. Please hold off all violence until I leave. I came out to Ohio in 2009 in hopes of getting my needs met. I wasn't yet sure. Things occurred. I came back in 2010. In the first 3 months, I had written a little over 30 songs. Through my pain and the things I was going through, it was my way of getting out of my brain the hurt and a lot of the sadness that I had endured as well. That's when I wrote Could Have It All. Some people know it as Ragtop Cadillac. And it was in hopes of a better life, just like with Dayton, Ohio, USA. I was hoping for better than what I was enduring and going through at the time, and ever had lived in the past. I was hoping for better, let's just say that. So I wasn't only writing in pain, I was writing with hope. Have you ever done that? You ever write because you felt that you really needed to, and then at some point in your life, or maybe during the same season, you thought you'd try something a little different and maybe write something, even though it may seem impossible, you're still going to write in hopes. Maybe pretend. Did you ever pretend when you wrote that you have a better life, maybe in the coming life circumstances? Healthier relationships if you have any? Let's get across here. Here comes vehicles. I'm gonna run. It's all dust. Look at this. Stone parking lots. It's dusty out here, isn't it? It's not dusty up here. It's dusty down there. Look at the road. This is not a plug for any company or anything, but I come from Lebanon, Pennsylvania, as I said, and I used to like to go to Napa Auto Parts with friends or family, and even, yes, myself. One of the things I loved about Napa, which kind of set the mood while I was here, is the fact that they have, I don't know about this one, the one I used to go to had a nice window, okay, windows, and then at the counter they had what people would describe as bar stools. They were like stools that you could sit on and they swirled around, okay, so they no backing, but you could sit while you talked or you waited or you looked up things in their catalogs. The reason I'm saying that is because it was what? Homey. It was comfortable, it was relaxing. And there was a long season of time throughout the 70s and 80s when I would go to places like that. It felt more family oriented, more, it seemed a little bit friendlier and personal than some of the other establishments maybe we would go through or to in later times, okay? Maybe not so comfortable to wait in line. Maybe not so pleasurable in our witnessing of customer service. And I'm not saying here, I'm just saying anywhere. It really does make a difference, folks, your personality when you're waiting on someone. We're here to enjoy life. Can we understand that together, please? We're really supposed to be enjoying it. I would like to. You hear me say that because a lot of times as I went through life, I realized, wow. Have you ever wowed because you were talking to somebody and you couldn't believe what appeared to be, what, obnoxious? People. Don't ever feel that being like them is better. You know, being friendly, being nice is who you are, okay? Whether you believe in Jesus Christ or you just believe in love or you don't, it exists. It's somewhere. Hopefully it's inside of your brain. Maybe related to somebody you once loved, like your grandmother or great-grandmother or an uncle or something, you know? Don't let the world, don't become like the world, like other people. You know, if they're mean, be more like the kind of person you want to be and exercise it on a regular basis to try to remain stable at that, consistent. Do it for you, not for them. Because sometimes we get confused and we start doing things for other people, and we stay in that, and we get lost thinking we should always do for other people. And what I've realized is you should always do it for you. It's the person you want to be. It's your life that something has given you, whether you believe in a creator or God or something gave you life. Okay. I don't know, Martian up there? Thank you, Martian. E.T. phone. So anyway, I thought this was really cool. When I came down the road on Main Street, I saw Napa. And I'm not plugging them in, okay? I'm not gonna say anything bad. Is where throughout years, before my driver's license, that I would go to places like that. And I used to love sitting and waiting and listening, observing. And I realized that, you know, it's something that psychologically, when I hear a Napa or I see a Napa, even if I see their name somewhere, I reflect back on all the times I used to go to our automotive store that was called Napa in our home city. And I psychologically relate it to friendly. I'm not saying it always is. There's a good chance it is not. As they might come out and scream at me because I'm here with a camera. Who knows? I hope not. So anyway, I just came across the street because I wanted to show you this, and I wanted to show you the scenery that I seen when I first came here. So if life was like a movie scene, a set location, if this was like a set location, it kind of gave me a warm, Midwestern, peaceful feeling that things might most likely be okay as long as I don't walk alone in the dark somewhere. Because that's where you hear about some of the dangers, right, in movies. That you get out in the Midwest and I'll be right back with you, and then they disappear off in the darkness, and then you never hear of them again? Or they start to appear somewhere else and, oh my God, who got her? Yeah, no offense. And then I turn down this way, and upstairs there is an upstairs, or was, after you go in the front door, and that's where the open mic was. And there was songwriters there. There was somebody who played the ukulele. How do you say that? Ukulele? 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 You know, acoustic guitar, and people were singing. The lady who had worked here, I guess either was going to college or just simply after school, going to be relocating down to Florida. Hi! I did a lot of live shows in the past, previous to this. And I also stopped out to see a lot of live entertainment, especially local, with like acoustic, whether it be solo, duo, trio, sometimes band, you know. But my strong interest at the time, not today, at the time, was acoustic music. I really took a liking to it for a season of time in my life. Therefore, I reached out to connect with other people. And I had a lot of fun during those times. During this time, I was not comfortable. It's not that I was insecure, it's that I knew that I had psychologically a whole lot going on that I was not adjusted to being a part of my day-to-day living prior to all of this. So by the time I came here, I not only was in Ohio in Beaver Creek, some of you may know it as Xenia, Ohio. It's right on the borderline. I was in that area in 2009 for a season of time, and then I came back after New Year's Day in 2010. And at this time I was here, it was a few months. I still was not certain of tomorrow by any means. I couldn't even make a prediction of the possibilities except for prepare for anything could happen. So there was more than that with not being familiar with the voice that I would come into here recently. I was not yet comfortable with playing because it was quite a few years. I would say almost 4 years since I played out, because I had in my transition I had sold my guitars that I had, and One was gotten for me for Christmas, and that's what I wrote my songs on, but I wasn't actually exercising, playing on a regular basis, and I was not yet clear as to how I wanted to sing, whether I wanted to sing in many different keys, just because, or if how I wanted to sing like. Do I want to sing like this? Do I want to sing really low like this? Considering I'm transitioned from male to female psychologically, yes. So I wanted something that I was myself okay with. And that's a long story in itself, but I finally related it to when I used to practice on a cell phone in my hotel room. I would record my voice saying hi, and I would talk for a while, and I remember at first, ew, is that what my voice sounds like? I can do better than that. I have to do better than that. Okay? And then once I started getting in exercise, I started falling in love more with myself, and I fell in love with my voice. It's not for everybody, it's for my enjoyment, and anybody who's willing to embrace it. And it took me a long time to realize when you're doing a livelihood like singing, and you're going into establishments like this, not to network specifically, though that does occur, but you're doing it for survival, so for livelihood. In other words, you're getting paid to sing establishments. You will, at times, depending who you are, I did. Let me just say I did. I made the mistake of what some people would call being a people pleaser, because you want to hold as many people in the venue as you can. And can I tell you, in the process of holding people in a venue, I can surrender to the truth and tell you that you will do a lot of wrongs. That's W-R-O-N-G-S. And because there's love inside of you and you love yourself, if you're really serious, psychologically, on what they would call soul-searching, self-searching, God-searching, you will feel, some would say condemnation, you will feel psychologically uncomfortable with the fact that there's too many wrongs when your intent was to do something that was good. Okay, my intent was to entertain people and lift their spirits. That's good, in my opinion. But it's how I went about it might not necessarily have been the best for everybody that was in the room, including myself. Because when you're in an establishment like this, and you're trying to hold people there, one of the things would be there'd be a lot of people, will you play a song that I'm familiar with? Will you play a song by a band? Will you play a song by this recording artist? Will you do this song? I heard it on the radio. Huh? Come on, you gotta do it. You play acoustic. You will fall to be part of the process of, if you're not careful, pleasing that person instead of being firm with, I am who I am, I have my own set list, I do my own music, pick something off the list. And I used to tell people that sometimes. I wasn't just doing what other people want me to do. I had a song list, and it was filled with both my own songs and the songs of other people. And I always told people, did you see my song list? And I would say, pick something off there. I'd take suggestions. Okay, maybe the next time I'll sing it, maybe I'll know it off the top of my head today, but you'll be more on my side if you choose one of my songs. That's how we become friends. I would tell people that. Want to be friends? Pick one of my songs. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear somebody say, hey, Tracilyn, play one of your songs. Okay, not today. Okay, I'm saying then. Be careful. When I'm talking today, especially with passion, you may be confused that what I'm talking about I want today. That's not true. You're better off to ask me, is that what you want today? When somebody's talking about yesterday, a lot of times psychologically things happen to our minds very quickly, and we may be confused as to they want that today because they're talking about it with happiness, and that might not be real at all. That's why it is best, I don't necessarily know how, but to ask somebody, do you feel that way today? Or are you just sharing an enthusiasm for yesterday? Because it seems like you would love to still be doing that. And the truth is, I can tell you, once in a while, maybe, but no. That season of time in my life, I'm hoping will not ever be a necessity for me, If I stop in and I want to, that's one thing. You know, say hi to people or whatever, but, you know, a big part of that, and I don't want to talk about it right here, right now, but a big part of it was in doing things that I personally didn't want to use my life for. I could be in an environment like that, but I didn't want to be a part of some of the things I was in the process of it. Feel free to ask me if I don't talk about it later. I won't talk about it here because they didn't have nothing to do with it. When I came here, I have to say that the people that were here that day were very friendly to me. And I remember being nervous because I'm a transsexual female, transgendered, if you would, and I don't know who knows, who doesn't know, and how they perceive me. Are they going to be okay with me? As I understood that a lot of rider nights, a lot of open mic nights is usually a full circle of familiarity, meaning it's a lot of the same people that keep showing up, and they bring their friends, they bring their family, they invite others. Would it be okay if I'm here? Will they be okay with me? Period. Or will I be kind of like stepping into a territory where they'd rather me not even exist on the establishment? All right, I am back. Sorry about that. My battery had just went out. I'm now in my car, and it looks like they're getting ready for tonight. I'm gonna head on out of here. So it is not the same establishment, and I was really hoping that I could go inside, but because it was locked up and closed and they're only now getting ready to set up, I didn't want to ask them. I'm about an hour and a half away from home. Our establishment at the present moment only has limited parking. Yeah, so I try to get home early. Or I have to park outside of our area across the street. I will talk about that another time. So I usually try to get home as an early bird for now. I'm hoping the next home I get has plenty of parking on the premises that I live. You have this sometimes. I'll explain to you. I promised myself that I would try not to talk about the things that I'm sensitive to that occurred to me since I've been out here. Okay? I'm trying to stay with more of what I perceive as good news. Okay? So, I would like to thank everybody that was at Papa Joe's in 2010, right around this time of year, which would be about April, coming up, right around April or March or February. It might have been that winter. I have a picture at home, not with me right now. I'm going to share that online. I will share one video. Here's something that occurred, and we'll get back to it. A gentleman that was there, I think, unfortunately, he passed away, and I'm sorry to hear that. He had a very good sense of humor. He was very talented, and he might have been the one who made the funny songs. I think he was a ukulele. How do you say that? Can you tell me? Can you spell it out in the comment down below? Ukulele? Is that it? It's always been a tongue twister for me. And anyway, it might be him that had passed away. I think so. But anyway, he used to record the open mic nights, and I had one that I wrote for the state of New Jersey that I was hoping to play in New Jersey someday. And I also wrote a song called Manhattan, New York. Now, he had sent me, and I might have the emails yet, he had sent me the two videos because I did not know what I am coming to learn is there's more than just me alone in my mind. There's other people who are very connected to my brain. And the thing is, he sent me the videos because he had posted them online, and I was very insecure with myself yet at that time, along with everything else I was going through. And though he recorded, videotaped me with the New Jersey, and then another time with Manhattan, New York, I don't know if he captured anything else or not. He posted them on his YouTube page, and at some point, I had wrote him, or I had asked him when I came here, if I could have a copy of the videos, and if he would take them down from his YouTube page. And I would like to say I'm sorry for that. Because that was a huge favor for me. That's number one. And number two, I understand when they capture video, they go through preparation for the night, having their video camera, and then being disciplined and responsible with their equipment and recording and pausing the recordings, etc., etc. And then when they get home, they edit their video to some level to bring it into some form of okayance with themselves, and then they upload it to something like YouTube, social media. And when they do that, okay, it is, because I think I was asked prior, you know, is it okay if he videotaped, and I gave him the okay. Now, understand, I was going through a lot, and I had asked him, and I felt bad about that, about asking him to take the videos down. I asked him if I could have copies of it, and I was willing to give him something for it, or what have you. It was like a form of depression in my head that occurred during this time that my videos were online and stuff, and there was like words of torment. So I can't take full credit that it was my fault, because I'm realizing that the people who have technology, if they want your content taken down, for instance on a social media page, they can enter into somebody's brain and they try to manipulate you through thoughts, through words, through whatever else they do to the brain. I know this sounds crazy. It's not. And why would they do this? Well, there's lots of reasons they would do it. Number one, they don't want you to be acknowledged. Okay? That's number one. So it may be because that video has evidence of something that they either want to use or that they have used. You will notice more so or not, especially with independent recording artists, songwriters, people who write but are not signed to like Sony. I don't know if Capitol Records or somewhere down in Nashville and stuff. You will notice that people in small towns who write their songs and stuff, all of a sudden within a season of time will start finding their unique titles or wordings in their lyrics or little hooks that they put in their music in majorly signed that you hear on the radio or on TV. You will hear their stuff in their music. Now, how does that happen? You should investigate and find out. Don't let me give you all the answers. Maybe if you hear this in the message, maybe you should go investigate it. Why don't you go ask, why don't you do it yourself? And when it happens to you, go and ask that recording artist how he got your lyrics, how he got your title, how he got your hook in, or something unique. Do something unique that other people have not done out of all the music you have ever listened to. And don't believe that uniqueness can occur. Try it this way. If there is a God, even if you don't believe, if there is a God, God makes something unique come through me musically or in wordings so I can witness what Tracilyn is saying, and God will bless you. And then you will find out that within a certain time frame, yes, a majorly signed. And so that'll be somebody who's living a much different life than you, won't he? Or she, yes. It's very unfortunate. It has happened to a lot of people, not just me. All right, now with that being said, I didn't want to necessarily specifically take down my videos for any other reason than I had an acknowledgement of extreme overwhelming depression, insecurity, discontentment, okay? That is not the fruits of what is in the Christian faith as Jesus Christ. This is not somebody who psychologically is in a present moment of absolute healing. This is somebody who's going through a lot of stuff. And with that being said, the gentleman was really nice. He gave me the videos, okay, through email. I saved Manhattan, New York, and the New Jersey. I even converted them over into MP3 so I could listen to the live sound, because I like live music, whether it's acoustic or not. And ironically, my New Jersey song video is missing. I have the Manhattan, New York, but I don't have the New Jersey song. That video is missing. So, that would be interesting for me to go online and do a lot of searching with the lyrics and the overall subject matter of what it was about, and I could track down, most likely, the people that are behind why my video is missing. By the way, the people in show business, maybe not those people, but they are tied to other people who go through your computers if they want something, and they delete stuff after they take it. Isn't that nice? And guess what? What protection do we have? Let's go and ask Mr. Microsoft why that occurs and what we can do to protect ourselves. Do you think he'll offer us a pointer or two? That's really nice, isn't it? Okay, we got 2 more minutes and I gotta switch this over. We're gonna be going somewhere else. Check this out. Water Tower. Isn't that cool? And we're gonna come down here. Ta-da! And look across the street. You see how this comes to like what I perceive as like a dead-end road? You got the railroad tracks there. And look over here. Ta-da! So we're coming over here. Hopefully it'll be all right for me to walk along the park. Railroad tracks. Check this out. I love this stuff. I think that's just beautiful, you know, the scenery of something like that. It's really nice. I'm going to switch this over really quick, right here, right now. And I'm going to be talking about where we're going to right now, and then I'll finish up my story, okay?